I'm John Marston, Civil Engineering Source Associate Editor for the American Society of Civil Engineers, and your new host for ASCE Interchange Live. Thanks for joining me today for a discussion on RiverRenew, a major infrastructure initiative to create cleaner and healthier waterways in Alexandria, Virginia. My guest today is Priyanka Saha, Civil and Hydraulics Lead for the project at Alexandria Renew Enterprises, the local wastewater authority. Welcome, Priyanka.
Hi, John. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining us today. The city of Alexandria is known for its historic, well preserved old town, but the 1800s era combined sewer system is also responsible for one of the city's biggest environmental problems. It dumps millions of gallons of raw sewage into the Potomac River each year. So, Priyanka, how does the River Renew project address this challenge? Are any measures being taken to consider the historic nature of the area?
Yeah, so like you mentioned, the city of Alexandria, like many historic cities throughout the United States, is served by a combined sewer system. This means wastewater and stormwater are conveyed using the same pipe. So during heavy rainfall events, the system becomes overwhelmed, and the combination of rainfall and sewage discharges via four outfalls throughout the city into local waterways: the Potomac River, Hunting Creek, and Host Run. The RiverRenew tunnel system project is designed to mitigate these overflows, reducing the number of overflows events from 70 to less than 4 per year. Our team will accomplish this by diverting flows at each of the outfalls that bring and then bring the flows to Alexandria's wastewater treatment provider using a unified tunnel system. The tunnel system includes a deep storage and conveyance tunnel, drop shaft diversion facilities, two pumping stations, and a superstructure to house the pumping station. These components work in conjunction to decrease the volume of combined sewage entering Alexandria's waterways by over 120 million gallons per year on average. When we were developing the alternatives for RiverRenew's preliminary engineering report, several alternatives for the tunnel path and diversion facilities were assessed. During the assessment, a big message that we got from the community was the community would prefer fewer impacts to Old Town Alexandria. Ultimately, the best solution was to route the tunnel underneath the Potomac River as to ensure to avoid impacts to Alexandria's historic waterfront.
What is your team doing to prioritize the sustainability and resilience of the system for the future?
So sustainability and resiliency is really important to AlexRenew. AlexRenew uses the principles of Envision and LEED in sustainable rating systems to achieve a highly sustainable project for the community. The tunnel system at large will be submitted for Envision certification, and the pumping station superstructure will be submitted for LEED certification. We'll be incorporating multiple sustainable elements into the project, including a green roof at the superstructure, solar panels, an urban garden, and then a bioretention facility as well. Taking into consideration Alexandria's proximity to the Potomac River, which is a tidal river, the components of RiverRenew are designed to withstand rising sea levels and that are brought forth by climate change. We've designed the components to be able to withstand the 2,100-year flood elevation, as well as having a 100-year design
That ties into my next question. How does River
life.
Renew contribute to achieving the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals?
Yeah, so AlexRenew is the wastewater authority for Alexandria, Virginia, committed to providing clean wastewater for the community. RiverRenew is committed to make the city of Alexandria a more sustainable and resilient place, which is evidenced, like I mentioned, through the commitment to LEED and Vision certifications for the project. A fun fact is the community actually had a lot of input when evaluating alternatives for the project. Um, and that ultimately led to a tunnel type project being selected. The project strives to connect the community to healthier waterways. We're even building a new promenade at one of the diversion sites to extend the waterfront walkway and give the public a closer connection to the Potomac River. At another site, we'll be removing invasive species and implementing historic signage within the city's African American Heritage Park. And throughout the project, we strive to be respectful to stewards to the environment and are trying to leave the areas that we're touching better than how we found them.
Great, that's great. How will renewing current infrastructure systems like sewers help communities thrive for generations?
Yeah, as you can imagine, there are many benefits to diverting combined sewage from water bodies, leading to cleaner waterways. Our goal is to create brighter futures for families and businesses and waterways in Alexandria. Um, we want to have healthier environment for aquatic life. Combined sewer overflows can lead to an excess of nutrients being dumped into water bodies, which can lead to eutrophication, having devastating impacts on life in the water bodies. Another part of RiverRenew is that we've had the opportunity to educate the community of all ages on projects such as these. We've connected to the community through storybooks, children's storybooks using characters to help explain different parts of the project, including our TBM, presentations, as well as social media.
Wow, that's great outreach. What are some of the biggest challenges your team has faced with the project?
Yeah, so a lot has happened since the beginning of the project. The project was set into motion in 2017 through a 2017 Virginia Assembly law that required the four outfalls in Alexandria to be in compliance by July 1st, 2025. This is an unprecedented timeline for a project of this magnitude, and right off the bat, the compressed schedule was a challenge for the team. On top of this short timeline, RiverRenew was impacted by the 2019 government shutdown, affecting the timeframe to secure permits necessary to meet that 2025 deadline. And of course, we were affected by the COVID-19 pandemic, had a huge influence on the project. It required the project to conduct the procurement process entirely virtually in March of 2020, and that was a big change in the industry. But despite these unprecedented events and timelines, RiverRenew is on track to be complete by the mandated deadline of July 1st, 2025.
Wow, that's pretty amazing, that accelerated timeline you're working under. Could you touch on whether or not that has added to the expense of the project? How is the project being funded?
So the project is being funded by mainly through ratepayers. So Alex Renew is solely funded through ratepayers, so businesses and homeowners that discharge into the waste system. But there are several funding opportunities that RiverRenew has had. We've secured loan through WIFIA funding, which is a low interest loan through the EPA. We've secured a loan through the Virginia Clean Water Revolving Loan Fund, and have also received state grants through the Commonwealth of Virginia, help offsetting the costs for ratepayers.
Cool, good. Hundreds of other U.S. cities have similar problems with combined sewer systems. How can this project help these cities develop their own renewal efforts?
Yeah, so here at RiverRenew, we care about sharing our knowledge and our experience. RiverRenew provides tours and presentations to communities or utilities that are interested in combating combined sewer overflows or any other types of tunnel projects. We've provided tours and presentations to the City of Alexandria, Honolulu, Philadelphia Water Department, as well as other international groups that have come in for tours and presentations. We've presented at a plethora of industry conferences, inclusive consultants and owners that live in communities that have similar projects. And the 2017 Virginia law not only affects Alexandria, other cities that have combined sewers are also affected. So we've worked collaboratively with the two other combined sewer overflow communities in Virginia, Richmond and Lynchburg, to secure grant monies from the Commonwealth of Virginia to help offset rate impacts.
Cool. What can engineers and city leaders do to help communities that may not have the funds or resources to start their own projects?
Yeah, so kind of tying into the previous question, we care about sharing our knowledge at RiverRenew and have presented at many conferences and utilities where utilities and consultants have been present. On top of that, we present to professional organizations, the community, and the public We also share a great deal of our information on our project website, which is just riverrenew.com. Like I mentioned before, we have received funding through several loans and grants. So there are some opportunities that other communities can look into, such as WIFIA, Virginia Clean Water Revolving Loan Fund, if they're within the Commonwealth, as well as state grants, infrastructure grants. And then, of course, the community is really integral to acceptance of projects like these. We encourage communities to support your local wastewater treatment facilities and their projects as they are central to the initiatives such as RiverRenew. We can't have clean water without the incredible work that is done by the wastewater treatment facilities throughout the U.S.
Yeah, you touched on something I wanted to ask you too, which is
Yeah.
is there any way that the public can support these types of infrastructure enhancement projects?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Public outreach and communication is a vital part of RiverRenew, and the project is really made possible with the support of our community in Alexandria. Alexandria citizens are uniquely engaged and involved in the city. Every year every year over the course of the project, we have had yearly listening sessions where the team facilitates sessions where members of the public are welcome to learn more about the project, voice their opinions and concerns. We listen to them, take that into consideration. We go to each of the sites where we have construction and really try to talk to those citizens that are impacted directly by the project itself. Another way that people can be involved are through stakeholder advisory groups. There's a RiverRenew stakeholder advisory group, which and this is a way citizens can be involved and advocate for their communities. The RiverRenew SAG monitors construction progress on the tunnel project. Members of the SAG are committed to serving as RiverRenew ambassadors, sharing the progress of the project with their networks, identifying concerns, and receiving input from the public, and providing recommendations back to our team to mitigate any construction impacts, concerns, whatever it may be. They are able to relay that back to us. And then,
Great.
of course, sorry, one more thing I want to add is that supporting infrastructure initiatives in the community. Community support makes projects like RiverRenew possible, where we can invest in healthier waterways for not only places like in Alexandria, but other places as well.
Great. Yeah, you mentioned a website where people can check out more about the project. What was that website again?
Yeah, so the project website is riverrenew.com. We have construction updates on there. You can follow the progress of our tunnel. Our tunnel is about 300 feet into its 2-mile journey. There's a tracker, lots of visual elements there. You can find out more about our children's storybook, which is Chloe the TBM, which is fun to share with your children. There's all sorts of great information and resources on riverrenew.com.
Great. Very good. Thank you. Thank you, Priyanka, for joining us today for a really enlightening discussion on RiverRenew and how civil engineers are enhancing infrastructure for a healthier, more sustainable future.
Thanks
Thanks
for
for being
having
here.
me.
Yeah, we're glad to have had you. For more information on ASCE's Interchange series, visit asce.org/interchange. And again, let remind you to visit riverrenew.com. Thanks for joining us today, and we'll see you next time on ASCE's Interchange Live.